All right, everybody, what's going on? My name is Crypto Corey. I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm just going to talk about a couple things. I know this is kind of the deep bear market. I know FTX is a big talking point and stuff. I'm not really going to cover much of that right now, but what I will say is, like, whether we're talking VV, whether we're talking HRO, whether we're talking Palm NFT with the Bat Cow project, whether we're talking Broadsider just minted. I minted 3. I'm pretty done for the moment, buying NFTs, collecting NFTs for just the moment. I've got maybe a couple more things I want to get, and then after that, I'm pretty much planning on taking a break and just accumulating, because I need to re-up. I just got a bunch of money coming in. I just spent a bunch of money. I'm about to head to Disney. So what I want to do is, I've got my cash pile and stuff. I want to go to Disney. I want to do what we need to do at Disney to have fun. And then I want to take the rest of the money that I don't spend, and I'm going to invest that money at that time. So we're looking like my big buy is set before Christmas. There might be another drop after. I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be a drop into the first of the year, and then everything will start to flatten out. Maybe not like recover. We're not going to see it like go up. We're not going to all of a sudden switch on bull market. But I do think that we might make our bottom between now and the first of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and compile my bag real quick and then buy a handful of coins. I might buy some more VV NFTs. I might buy some more Bat Cow stuff. That's pretty much about it. I'm not really looking at any other projects at the moment. I mean, I could go out and buy some more aliens for Pluto Alliance. Just get some more races of aliens. And that way my monthly payments get increased over. Right now it's just 2 to 3 times a year I get paid from the project. So what I'd like to have is, I'd like to have it to be like at least 6 months of the year I'm getting paid by the project. But I've got to be able to buy those NFTs, and I might look into it, because the ad revenue from Pluto Alliance just seems like a pretty decent idea when the price of Ethereum is cheap. Broadside the other day, it was 0.07 ETH in order to mint, and after the mint cost and the gas fees, it came out to like $88 worth, which I already bought Ethereum. I already had Ethereum, and I'm pretty neutral on my Ethereum because I bought like a week ago, and we had a small pump, then it dumped. So it's basically about where it was when I bought last week. But I'm kind of looking at it now. There's some more projects I want to buy into. If I can do some things that give me passive income, which the Pluto Alliance gives you passive income, I might just look into getting some of those while it's cheap, and maybe just forego VV NFTs and forego other NFTs, because the value of these NFTs aren't going to just go up overnight. I'm not going to be selling these things next year at some insane profit. You and me aren't selling these things next year at an insane profit if we're buying right now. Maybe in 2 years, yes, but 1 year from now, we'll still be in some type of an accumulation. Price might be higher, but it won't be so much higher that you're just like, oh, I'm rich. I just think it's going to be a little bit more lull for the next year, and then we'll get our pump in 2024. That's pretty much across the board. I mean, we're talking the crypto market. We're going to see some more pain. I think we're going to see some people crash. I don't know if any major exchange is going to crash anymore. Yesterday, my staking period ended on Crypto.com. I had Ethereum and I had Bitcoin staked on Crypto.com, and then after my staking ended, I transferred that to my hard wallet, and I had XRP that was still on the Uphold exchange, and I transferred my XRP to a hard wallet. I did what I needed to do yesterday just to kind of keep everything safe. I would urge you to do the same. Get everything off of exchanges. There's no rhyme or reason why an exchange would or wouldn't fail. We'll just have to keep our eyes out. Now, I'm a believer of Crypto.com. I do think that these prices right now, because of the FUD around Crypto.com and the FTX debacle, I think that's forced the price down lower. Now, we may have bottomed on Crow for this cycle, but I think there's a little more downside in the general market. So whatever the pump of the recovery is for Crow, people are still going to be looking for it to fail, and I'm willing to take a gamble on it. So with my bags, I do think I'm going to be buying some Crow. With my bags, I'm looking to buy OMI. And then, honestly, I'm just thinking I need to start stacking more Ethereum and stacking more XRP. So I'm looking at if I can finagle this over the next, 3 months. I'm looking at trying to, $500 increments just over it's like a DCA, but it's like a bottom bear market DCA. So, if you're trying to buy, weekly or something, if you get paid weekly, because I get paid weekly, if I'm just taking an allocation out of my check every week and I'm putting it into a token, that DCA is just a low amount. But if you're just right here around the bottom, you take your bag, and instead of just putting it all on XRP or all on Bitcoin, in one swoop, if you split it up in $500 increments over the course of a month, every single week, you buy each one of these tokens for around $500. I'd probably buy more Ethereum than I would buy OMI. I would buy more XRP than I would buy Ethereum. I wouldn't buy a whole lot of OMI. Crow, honestly, I'll probably just, I bought $500, or actually it was $400 worth of Crow when I staked in 2021, and the staking period was 180 days, and I got my Crypto.com card from it. And at the end of that staking, man, my $400 was around $2,800. Now the market dipped, and when I sold, by the time I actually got to sell, it was $1,500. So I turned 400 into 1,500, which is great. So I'm thinking, another $400 or $500 on it just to be like a risk asset. If the exchange fails, I lose $500. But I'm thinking, Crypto.com is not going to fail. It's going to do well. It's just got to have a recovery, and there's some FUD surrounding it right now. So I think the price is nice and cheap. So I'm looking first off to potentially buy Crow. If we have another drop and it doesn't die on that drop, I'll be buying that drop. I will buy that dip. So pretty much the next major dip we have, let's just say some other exchange fails, or we find some more stuff that tokens had that maybe are popular tokens that are tied to FTX or tied to what the feds are doing, or something that's kind of scammy. There could be a few things that happen, and then also the feds could just raise rates, and if you have a combination of things, we could have another small dip. I'm honestly not, there's a part of me, it's like, all right, I have a feeling we're gonna break 14K, but I don't think it's gonna be much. I think we'll dip into the 13K, and then we'll just pop back up. Everyone wants it to go to 10K, so in my opinion, it's just not going to 10K, because how many people are going to sit there and it's heading down to 10K, it's dropping, and then people are like, oh, I'm going to buy now before it hits 10K because I could miss it. So they're going to start buying. I just don't think it's going to hit that 10K mark. I do think that it's going to break 14K. So that's my thought, is the next dip that happens is the dip that's the bottom of Bitcoin market, at least. Other things could still bottom out, but that's where I'm going to probably make my buys, is this next dip, and it can happen at any time. I'm on bottom watch right now. I don't think 15.5 is what we got to. I don't think 15.5 was the bottom. I think that the FTX issue. I think we haven't sorted everything out quite yet, and I think that we're much more sensitive now to the decisions and things coming out of the Federal Reserve and what they're talking about with interest rates and inflation. So I think that the next one, if they're still kind of, not pivoting, if they're doing like 50 basis points or they're doing 75 basis points still, if they're not switching from a hawkish stance to a dovish stance, I foresee that being that last leg down. I'm not saying that the Feds aren't going to continue to raise rates. I do think that they will raise rates into next year, but I think they'll be diminishing. So people will start to call that a pivot. I don't think that's a pivot. I think that's it's just a slow, quick twist of the knife just to kind of kill off the rest of the people, and then to allow it to, then the pivot will happen sometime next year. So I think there's going to be one last little twist of the knife. The Feds are going to try to kill off the last of the businesses that can't hold their own, and then we'll start all over again. It's kind of strange because Bitcoin, while I agree Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, when the Feds get involved, when the Feds start hiking rates, when we print gobs and gobs of money and we stop printing and we start doing all this stuff and the government starts getting involved, man, even Bitcoin's still taking hits. So, I think that historically we'll look back on Bitcoin, and when the price for Bitcoin kind of settles and, it starts kind of being, a little more stable, a little less cycly, like heavy on the cycles, where we've got, a couple thousand percentage hikes and then it drops 85% each cycle. I think what we'll do is we'll have a small pump and a small dump, and then it'll be just back to usual. But I don't think we're going to see major bear markets on Bitcoin specifically. I don't think we're going to see that post-regulation. Once regulation comes in, I think that, the shakeouts that happen, it's just going to be institutions looking for buys, and they're going to be making big buys, and I think that's just going to ramp up the industry. I'm not saying it's going to make everything, we're not going to have some super bull market or anything. I just think we're going to start seeing steady growth, and it's going to settle down a little bit, and it's going to just be a decent investment. Is it going to be the best investment? I don't know. But, that's pretty much it. Just my thoughts for the day. I hope y'all have a good few months. I'm heading to vacation. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, nothing I say is financial advice. My name's Crypto Corey, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day, y'all.